Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Andi Nurhaeril Fitri ILYAS from the Department of English Education, and Alhamdulillah now I'm in semester 6. The purpose of this video is to fulfill the mid-semester assessment in the discourse analysis course, which was presented by my lecturer, Dr. Kaharudin SIP M.Hum. Here I will explain three main topics, which include the urgency of studying discourse analysis in ELT, then about discourse analysis and English language teaching, lastly about the scope of discourse analysis, and at the end of this video I will also add a little conclusion. Alright, I'll start explaining for the first topic. So this first topic has two discussions, which I will explain step by step. The first discussion is what are the reasons for studying discourse analysis. So here there are three reasons why we need to study discourse analysis. The three reasons are categorized as academic, pragmatical, and pedagogical reasons. For academic reason, Wood argues that through discourse analysis, students engage with the study of how, in social interactions, humans convey meaning, not as an individualistic endeavor, but as a result of dynamic and ongoing negotiations with their interlocutors. This analysis is very useful for them to gain knowledge and understanding of the function of language in social life and the role of language in the construction and formation of social relations. Therefore, students majoring in colleges or universities are often required to study discourse analysis as an academic subject, either as a compulsory subject or as a complementary subject. However, each discipline uses its own assumptions, dimensions of analysis, and methodologies to study discourse analysis. From here, students are expected to take the advantages of studying subject include to gain in-depth knowledge of the concepts of discourse analysis, which will be a guide for students understand and carry out the process of analyzing discourse, or gaining the knowledge of discourse analysis, and train and develop students' critical thinking skill through practice analyzing discourse as a simple research model conducted in the classroom, or develop a critical mindset. Next is about pragmatical reason. A structural sentence refers to a sentence which is produced based on the speaker's knowledge of language from forms, appropriate word selection, correct grammar, as well as good pronunciation. On the other hand, functional sentence refers to a sentence uttered on the basis of speaker's knowledge of how an expression should be used inappropriately according to its context of apologizing and saying. A context appropriately according to its context, such as saying "I'm sorry," to represent the function of apologizing, and saying "good afternoon" to represent the function of greeting. If your friend had knowledge of language function in English, he should start communicating with the foreigner by introducing himself and then asking universal questions such as place of origin, jobs, hobbies, or anything. He should not directly ask the foreigner with very personal question such as "why do you?" because Most foreigners are not feeling comfortable being asked this way by strangers. In order to communicate effectively in a foreign language, a speaker should possess the two types of knowledge: structural and functional knowledge. They are essential to use in social interaction to avoid pragmatic difficulties, um, or inability to produce sentence according to the language used in its context, which can cause failure and conflict in communication. Therefore, the information collected through discourse analysis will be very helpful to first, it inform learners about the linguistic features of language used in real life context. Uh, Next is find out how language should be used for communication and recognize the most appropriate use of language for communication. Then the last reason is pedagogical reason. Discourse analysis is like a bridge that connects between live teachers and the communicative approach in developing the communicative competence of language learners. Those who have learned linguistics and language skill have to learn discourse analysis as an academic subject at the university. They are required to successfully deploy and connect their knowledge of discourse analysis and pedagogical components in the classroom. Namely, the first is curriculum, which refers to the contents being taught in the classroom. The second is methodology, which refers to the way in which the contexts are taught. And the third, techniques for socializing language learners in the context where the language is used. So these three reasons why we need to study discourse analysis, because it is very important with the aim the English is taught to be understood from its form and function and provide an understanding of how to provide teaching materials to students. After knowing the three reasons I explained earlier, the next step is to the second discussion of this first topic, namely what are the differences between discourse analysis and error analysis in terms of their genesis and focus. Um, it generally recognizes that discourse analysis is the main linguistic study that examines the spoken and written use of language by native peoples. No wonder the development of theory discourse analysis is strongly influenced by the development of linguistic theory. It can even be said that it was linguistic theory that gave rise to the theory of discourse analysis. Therefore, to see how the process the occurrence of discourse analysis in linguistic studies, it helps us first examine the development of linguistic theories because of this. This cannot be separated from the origins of the discourse analysis. Until now, linguistic theories have undergone three stages of development, namely traditional grammar, structuralism, and functionalism. Meanwhile, in the field of second language learning, error analysis is a very important study to pay attention to. The process of language learning will definitely involve making mistakes made by students when making sentence or speech. Most second language learners will make mistakes, no matter how effective the teaching or learning environment is. Dulay, Burr, and Krashen state that the errors of second language learners occur because of the automatic transfer of rules in the first language. Then the second topic is about discourse analysis and English language teaching. There are three subtopics here. First, about what are discourse and discourse analysis. In the contemporary Indonesian dictionary, there are three meanings of the word discourse. First, conversation, speech, and speech. Second, uh, whole speech or conversation, that is a single unit. Third, the largest and most complete language unit, which is realized in the form of a complete essay, such as novels, books, and articles. The term discourse refers to a complete language unit which is generally larger than a sentence, whether delivered orally as well as written. Discourse is a series of harmonious sentences that connect one sentence to another so that it forms a unity. In Alex Sabor's book, Ismail Muharrem's understanding of discourse is written, namely as the ability to progress in discussion according to regular and proper sequences, communication of ideas, both oral and written, official and regular. Then discourse analysis or discourse analysis is a method used to dissemble the meaning or communication message that is contained in a text both textually and contextually, so that the meaning extracted from a text or communication message is not only seen from the text that is clearly written, only more than that. According to Stubbs' view, discourse analysis is one of the studies that examines or analyzes the language used naturally both in spoken and written forms. Stubbs also said that discourse analysis emphasizes the study of usage in social contexts, especially in interactions between speakers. Besides that, Cook also argues that discourse analysis is a study that discusses discourse, and discourse is a language used to communicate. Next is the second subtopic regarding what are teaching and English language teaching. Since the 1500, the definition of teaching has developed continuously. According to Maswan and Khairul Muslimin, teaching is giving lessons to someone's students by training and giving instructions so that they gain some experience. Then explanation of teaching is then brought into the area of teaching English. Then English language teaching can be interpreted as the process of imparting skills and knowledge uh, of English to a group of students whose first language is not English through the implementation of three main stages, i.e. pre-teaching or planning, while teaching or giving instruction, as well as post-teaching or measuring learning outcomes. So English language teaching or ELT refers to the activity and industry of teaching English to non-native speakers. Next is about what is the relation between discourse analysis and ELT. For this topic, there are two things we need to know in order to better understand it. These two things are: the first is the trend in ELT, theoretical perspective, and the second, the trend of ELT in Indonesia, factual perspective. So we're talking about the trend in ELT, theoretical perspective part first. Meet it in A. Most English teachers tend to teach their students English in isolation with its use. As a result, the knowledge of context is lacking, and when it is time to practice the things they have learned in the classroom in real-life instructions, the students encounter difficulties to use the language socially appropriate and find it difficulty to recognize the function of utterances addressed by the native speakers of English. So from the theory, we learn that many English learners can speak grammatically correct English but fail to speak naturally understandable English. Such situations often lead to pragmatic difficulties or difficulty in understanding each other due to unnatural English, which make the interlocutor uncomfortable. The second is about the trend of ELT in Indonesia, or factual perspective. In Indonesia, many students of English encounter the same problem as stated in the theory. This happens because the students receive many inputs of English form but less in English functions. Teaching English through drilling the rules of grammar and memorizing vocabulary has been the teaching orientation of many English teachers in Indonesia. As Smith MA states that in order to be successful in language teaching and learning, discourse of language has to be studied carefully by the teachers and the students, in which language, form, and function should not be kept apart in the classroom. Language form should not be used in isolation with its functions. So, what is the relationship? For the reason, from this perspective of the writer's independent argument, discourse analysis and English language teaching are found to be tightly connected and inseparable. It is obviously seen from an indication that discourse analysis signifies language and language enables discourse analysis. Language is one method of communicating messages, while discourse analysis can be used as a tool to disclose messages being communicated. In a nutshell, the relationship between discourse analysis and language is symbiotical, in which one will not exist without the other. The third topic is about the scope of discourse analysis. In this section, there are 6 subtopics. The first is about what is spoken discourse. Spoken discourse is an interactive speech between two or more people, which is a broad-based language phenomenon in daily life. Just as Fernblatt and Carter say, speaking in everyday conversation usually takes place in real time. Is conducted face-to-face. Face-to-face is interactional. The ideas concerning spoken discourse. First is a language is verbally used by using speech in communication. Second is it constitutes a series of conventional systems of sounds, and its actual representation is speaking. The second subtopic is about what are the differences between classroom and casual conversations. The distinctions between classroom and casual conversation. In casual conversations, people do not need to put their hands up if they want to speak. In classroom conversations, students are expected to do it if they want to say something. According to Barnes, teachers rarely ask questions to which they do not already know the answer. In real life, people normally ask questions to find out something they don't know. The third subtopic is about the reasons for analyzing the discourse classroom and casual conversation. There are 3 reasons for this analysis. First is to show its typical characteristic in terms of structures, function, and so forth, which have made it different from casual conversations. Second, to encourage the students to know and to use the characteristics when they are in the classroom settings and want to involve in conversations during. And the last, to see what goes on in the classroom and to evaluate the end products of our teaching and that of our students. Then, the main task of analyzing the discourse of casual conversation is to provide information about the descriptions of exchange structures, discourse sequence, language functions, as well as the internal structures existing in the use of language in social conversations for language pedagogical purposes. It stands to reason for saying that the identification, the classification, and the explanation of language functions are the products of discourse analysis, which are very beneficial for both teachers and students. In this regard, speech act is still the most effective approach used by many linguists and language researchers to carry out the analysis to disclose the products. Due to the products resulted from discourse analysis, teachers and students will gain advantages of discourse analysis in casual conversation. Teachers can use the products as the basis to formulate curriculum, teaching materials, as well as teaching methodology and technique in teaching English. Well, the fourth subtopic is about how to analyze the discourse. Examples for analyzing the discourse. Sinclair and Coulthard found IRF pattern from analyzing conversations between teachers and students. The pattern shows that classroom conversation of analysis commonly occur by using the following sequence. I stands for initiations, teacher initiates conversations. R stands for response, students response. F stands for feedback or teachers follow up. By using an extract from the data, the sequence can be operationalized in this way. Like now, for speaker, now then I've got something things here too. It's hands up. What's that? What is it? This is a initiation. The second speaker say so, and it is response, and the last speaker say it's a so. Yes, this is a so. It's as a feedback. The extract above is analyzed by using speech egg approach. We found out 3 different functions in the conversation. The fifth subtopic is about what things are found from the analysis. So here is a continuation of the previous subtopic, that from this analysis we find things like the following. First is initiation, like now then I've got something things here too, and hands up. What's that? What is it? The analysis is the teacher initiates the conversation by saying now then, and ends the initiation by asking a question about something, like what's that? This means that the initiation brings the function of asking, so the initiation functions as ask. Next is response. The speakers was say so. The analysis is a student then answers the questions by saying so. So the response functions as answer feedback. Next is speaker say it's a so. Yes, this is a so. The analysis is the teachers acknowledge the answer by saying it's a so and comment on it by saying yes, this is a so. So the feedback functions as a comment. The sixth or the last subtopic is about what are the implications of the analysis results to teaching and learning speech delivery in ELT. So here, discourse analysis and teaching English are found to be closely related and inseparable. It is clear from the indications that discourse analysis signifies language and language enables discourse analysis. Language is one method delivering messages, while discourse analysis can be used as a tool to express messages that are communicated directly or indirectly to the interlocutor. In short, the relationship between discourse analysis and language is a symbiosis in which one would not exist without the other. Next, I will give a little conclusion. From what I have explained, discourse analysis is something that is very important for both teachers and students. The discourse analysis that we know will later be very useful for good communication with native speakers. Um, then the recommendation that I want to give to the teacher is to continue to provide easy to digest understanding, especially by English teachers, and provide practice speaking English in public. And also a recommendation for students from me is to find motivation to learn for yourself, because something doesn't come if not searched. For example, you try to learn English lessons that are applied. And for the last words, I would like to thank Mr. Dr. Dr. Kaharudin SIPM as a lecturer in this course. Thank you very much for the knowledge given. I also don't forget to thank my parents and friends who have helped me in completing this video. If I say something wrong, please forgive me. So that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.